Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Before we get into the details, however, SVG-BC would like to inform our customers that our cash office will be closed on Thursday from 9:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. We do apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Into the news now, Minister of Finance Camila Gonçalves has defended the government's acquisition of Bailo, responding to critics who believe that money spent on any development there could be deemed unnecessary. Speaking on radio last evening, the finance minister reiterated that there is no amount of money that could be considered too much if one understands the historical value of the land.
I'll be singing about to keep you ever free and not celebrate the people who fought to keep us free, who died to keep us free. And that's what all of this is a visceral thing. If you come and say, the money we're all going to spend for pay for Bailo and to build a monument or a museum over there, it's better if I already take that money there and do something else. You could always find something else. But there's some things that you can't put a price on, comrades. I'm sorry. There's some things that are too important.
In Parliament last Thursday, Prime Minister Dr. Gonçalves announced that his government had successfully acquired Bailo, a move that was well received by the Garifuna people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other Garifuna nations. The finance minister emphasized that this acquisition is a testament to the reclaiming what rightfully belongs to the people who fought for it with sweat and blood.
There's blood in Bailo and bones in Bailo that say nobody can give us independence. We reacquired our independence after fighting, after Garifuna wars, after slave revolts, after war and bloodshed. We made it so that the British could not afford to keep us any longer. We fought a liberation struggle for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that, as we deprogram ourselves, as we collectively emancipate ourselves, Bailo will become an important chapter in our lives, in our children's lives, in our grandchildren's lives, in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so that we will say, like Bob Marley says, every time we think about Bailo, our blood runs cold.
Every year for the past few decades, a pilgrimage has been made to the private island of Bailo. However, this year will mark the first time that the pilgrimage will take place on what is now part of Crown lands, signifying a new chapter in the island and its significance to the Garifuna community. The 12th International Garifuna Conference opened today with a continued focus on reparations and reparatory justice. Speaking to a packed room of individuals with a keen interest in Garifuna issues, including a visiting Garifuna delegation, President of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation, David Daki Williams, reported that significant advancements have been made in amplifying the calls for reparations both locally and regionally. He also mentioned that the progress made with Bailo and its acquisition, a topic that will be further discussed during the conference.
Today, this conference, the 12th edition of this conference, will speak to reparations. That 9th conference continued to go on and speak about Bailo. And in this 12th edition of the conference, you will hear once more about Bailo. Only we would be receiving what we hear with smiles, because something good has happened for us to smile. But for persons like me, the work has just begun.
The Garifuna Conference is being held at the University of the West Indies Global Campus, a partnership that has contributed to promoting discussions on reparations and Garifuna culture. Head of the UWI Global Campus, Dr. Risa Noel McBurnett, reaffirmed the university's commitment to advancing the work of the Garifuna people.
with global networks and a distinguished reputation, provides a powerful platform to support the work of the Garifuna Heritage Foundation. This partnership is especially significant as the conference's aims resonate deeply with your university's academic pursuits, particularly in the areas of scholarly research and publications in reparatory justice and indigenous communities, as exemplified by the One UWI Research Cluster on Reparatory Justice, the Research Cluster for Indigenous Peoples, among other initiatives. The conference provides a vital space for critical discourse and the sharing of knowledge, contributing to a deeper understanding of Garifuna history, culture, and contemporary issues.
Several officials were in attendance, including the Minister of Education and a professor of international law and expert from the university in Italy, who will be presenting on reparations moving forward. Several panel discussions will take place over the next 2 days, including a presentation from Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Salves on the topic Bailo and the theme of reparatory justice and updates. Minister of Tourism Carlos James has announced that St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be expanding its air connectivity to Europe, with agreements expected to be signed with European governments sometime this year. The announcement came following the successful meetings at the trade fair in Berlin last week, where SVG was also honored with 2 prestigious awards in the tourism industry.
And the Grenadines. So we had some fruitful discussions at ITB and in fact looking forward to establishing a greater presence in the European market. And this is outside of the UK, of course, but we're talking for the Western and Eastern Europe. We're hoping at least by the 2nd or 3rd quarter of this year to complete and ratify at least 2 or 3 air service agreements with the Dutch, French, and German governments. This will enable us to facilitate greater air connectivity.
The minister highlighted the growing air connectivity in the region, particularly to French destinations, which has already commenced. However, he emphasized the importance of securing additional flights from more European countries to further enhance travel options for visitors to SVG.
Because gone are the days when visitors are going to tell you, well, we want to fly to another country and, take a smaller plane, and they want direct access. And I've had experiences like that even in Toronto, where people are flying into Toronto and they don't want to fly to Toronto to come to St. Vincent, they want to come to St. Vincent. And they're saying, but what happened to Montreal or different parts of Canada? And similarly in Europe, you're going to have that issue of accessibility, and Europeans are going to tell you, well, we want to be able to fly direct to the Caribbean and direct to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So these air connectivity, air service agreements are going to also put us in the direction of moving closer to having the ability and capacity to facilitate flights out of Europe at some point.
In a related development, the minister also announced that Air Canada would be adding more flights to the region, with year-round service now available to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The increase in flights is welcomed as the minister anticipates a boost in visitor arrivals due to the expanded airlift.
Commencing this month, we will see increased flights from Toronto. I want to announce here that Air Canada will add additional flights as of this month on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays between March and April of 2025. We will see an increase in its winter schedule for the winter period from October 27 to go back to ramping up their flights. But from May of this year, we will continue to see year-round service to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A couple of years ago, just around the time when I came in as minister, you had Air Canada will come, and then after the winter season they will shut off and they will come back. I said, no, we have to change that. In fact, when we approached them at the very outset, they found all the excuses. They're good friends of ours now, He said, well, you know, we're short on equipment, we're short on crew. I said, listen, the product I'm building out, we need year-round service to the destination. And I'm happy to say consistently, they have been working with us, supporting us and ensuring that we're able to get year-round service to the destination out of Canada.
Repair work on the Agriculture Headquarters building is ongoing, as confirmed by Minister of Agriculture Suboto Caesar in response to a question in Parliament last Thursday regarding the status of the project. Minister Caesar pointed out that the head office of the Ministry of Agriculture is a busy space offering services to over 10,000 citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as individuals from outside of the state who utilize the services provided by the ministry. He also provided figures on the funds spent over the years for the repair work on the building, which began in 2018. The minister noted that while progress has been made, the repairs have taken longer than anticipated.
In 2018, $36,000 was spent. 2019, $55,000. 2020, zero because of the COVID pandemic. 2018, $36,000. 2019, $55,000. 2020, zero because of the COVID pandemic. 2021, $165,000. 2022, $129,000. 2023, significant work went in that year, $299,000. 2024, because of the hurricane, we did not do any work in 2024, so zero was spent in 2024. And in 2025, we anticipate in the second quarter, when we complete addressing some of the issues that we have still with the recovery work post the hurricane, to restart the work there.
Noting that the upgrade work on the building is still incomplete, Minister Caesar emphasized that more progress could have been made if there had been a separate building available to move into during the renovation process.
What we're actually doing, Madam Speaker, is that we are repairing the building and shifting rooms around. So we can't move it too quickly, because to move all those persons from that ministry and to find a space, it's going to be very difficult. We also share the building with lands and surveyors on the downstairs, and they had to move out and they have returned some of their staff. So we're going to see the repairing picking up some pace in the second quarter, going into the end of the first half of the year 2025. So that's the report from 2018 to 2025, and the reasons why we had certain expenditure and the justification. I'm obliged.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines will experience greater success in crime prevention, according to Assistant Commissioner of Police, ASP Trevor Bailey, who is in charge of crime. Speaking during the Police on the Beat program last evening on NBC Radio, ASP Bailey highlighted that the police's connection to society has now become a top priority. He noted that this strengthening connection has already led to multiple arrests in the past, demonstrating the effectiveness of community collaboration in addressing crime.
I played different roles, you know, and when we were doing these, we realized, hey, well, we might have missed this. It looks something that is jumping out at us here now that we would have missed.
Right.
And by probing along that line, what have happened is that we noticed we were able to connect with certain section of society that really had the information that we wanted badly, for so long. It was there, but the information has always been there, but the connection with the police was missing, and we were able to make that connection. And it was those connections that you see that we were able to make several key arrests.
ASP Bailey further assured the public that significant efforts are being made in the fight against crime to ensure safety and security of all citizens. He emphasized that police are committed to improving their relationship with the community, as it is crucial for fostering trust and cooperation.
It is important as well to note that on several occasions we said that we were moving away from total IC and we were getting more dependent on the forensic aspect. Some of our recent successes have been triggered by we getting back from external sources,
yes,
forensic results that we were waiting on.
Forensic analysis.
And I say to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, at some time it appears as if nothing is happening, and the wheel appears as if it's not spinning at all.
Yeah.
But rest assured that it's probably moving too fast that the naked eye is not picking up on it. But it is moving.
Yes.
And I won't let anything out of the bag. But as I said, you have not heard the last of us. There are many more successes that lies on the horizon.
In addition, Sergeant Bijan Duncan of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force stated that the force would be conducting a thorough review of cold cases, which is another critical component of their crime-fighting strategy.
When I was placed in charge at the Major Crime Unit, we decided to have our regular briefings with the NCOs within the department and to chart the course forward, at least for 2025 and beyond.
Yes.
And as part of that chartering, we decided that amidst our substantive duty, that we will also look at quote-unquote cold cases.
Mm-hmm.
We will do a review of those cases. You understand? We will have a discussion. We will come up with fresh ideas. You understand? Because sometimes the best of us, we can exhaust an investigation, but sometimes it takes fresh ears to actually hear what is happening, to do a review and come up with fresh ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And hence, this is one of the things that we are embarking on at the Major Crime Unit.
Yes.
With the permission granted and the review by ACP Bailey, that we'll do some reviews of some cold cases.
Meanwhile, the Criminal Investigations Department, the CID of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, held its annual award and appreciation ceremony under the theme Courage, Integrity and Commitment. The RSVG Police Force says the event was a meaningful reflection on the department's accomplishments in 2024, acknowledging both the complexities of their investigative work and the critical role CID plays in safeguarding communities across SVG. Commissioner of Police Anvil Williams addressed a gathering that included active officers, retired personnel, family members, and supportive community members. He underscored the demanding nature of criminal investigations, expressing sincere appreciation for the officers' relentless efforts behind the scenes, which directly contribute to a safer SVG. The Commissioner highlighted the vital importance of unity within the force, reinforcing how collective effort enhances the effectiveness of CID's operations. Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey highlighted the critical support that family members provide to the officers, often bearing the unseen burdens alongside them. He emphasized the CID's measurable impact on public safety, pointing to the tangible outcomes such as increased crime-solving rates and notable breakthroughs in major investigations. ASP Bailey noted specifically how CID's effective response to serious crime significantly reassures the public of their security and confidence in law enforcement. Top-performing detectives received special recognition, notably Detective Constable number 105 Enrico Castello, who won the title of Top Detective for 2024 after successfully managing 103 cases and achieving 53 arrests. Detective Constable 871 Onika Lewis, for the second consecutive year, was recognized as a top female detective, while Detective Constable 98 Micah Da Silva Christopher was honored for his impressive achievements, securing third-place Detective Sergeant 287 Justin Cupid was successfully acknowledged for his leadership and exceptional skills in investigative case management. The SVG Police Force says a highlight of the evening was the promotion of Detective Constable 427 Nathan Henry to the rank of Corporal, recognizing his consistent, excellent, and exemplary service. In other news, the opposition New Democratic Party candidate for North Windward, Shavon John, is determined to make a difference in the constituency and continue fighting for the development of young people. Speaking at the NDP's elector conference on Saturday, held in commemoration of International Women's Day, John shared her personal journey of growing up poor in the community of Oya and her path into the political arena.
But my mission was to stay with my people, steer the course, develop the minds and mold young ones in my community, especially girls, to become powerful women. I never knew I would have gone into politics because I was a little introvert. I guess I am still that person. But my personal belief and what I wanted to do in life was to just be in the corporate world. So when I was asked to enter politics, I was like, me? Well, what am I going to do with such profession? That not for me at all. You know, and many people approached me and they said, yes, you will make a good politician. I remember one gentleman he was working at the Owe police station years ago, a Sergeant Costello. And he said to me years ago, little girl coming up, you will be a good politician. And I said to him, what are you talking about? Politics that is a dirty game. That's not for me. But then when I was approached by the New Democratic Party, the first time I gave that same response. And then I started praying because I believe in prayer. And I got the answer that you are called for such a time like this. And today, I am proud to be a member of the New Democratic Party, ready to be elected to serve the people, the women, men, girls and boys of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Pointing out that in various capacities and settings, women have been called to leadership roles. John highlighted how women continue to demonstrate courage, wisdom, and resilience. She emphasized the importance of embracing women's leadership as part of God's plan, acknowledging the significant contributions women make to society and their ability to drive a meaningful change.
By doing so, we allow women to shine in their gifts, presenting their talents in ways that reflects God's love and guidance. Women in leadership position offers diverse perspective and insights, enriching our communities, churches, organizations, or wherever you are placed. Men, don't feel left out. You have your role. After 25 years of ULP administration, we, the women of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, must say no to humiliation and no to loss of dignity. We, the women of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, must say no to poverty. We must say no to violence and abuse. We must say no to oppression, and we must say no to being rubber stamps.
The 36th meeting of the Caribbean Association of National Training Authorities, CANTA, will be held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines from March 17th to the 21st, 2025 at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Diamond. CANTA is an association of national training agencies and other TVET apex bodies in CARICOM states established in November 2003. The 14-member organization is endorsed as an implementation arm of the CARICOM Regional Coordinating Mechanism for TVET, whose goals is to promote the development of a competitive regional workforce and to facilitate free movement of certified skilled workers within the CSME. Endel Johnson, Director of the National Qualification Department in the Ministry of Education, expressed that it is a significant milestone for SVG to host a meeting for the first time and for regional collaboration in technical vocational education and training at TVET.
CANTA is the Caribbean organization that is responsible for TVET. And in the region, we have a number of different agencies in different territories that are responsible for the administration of TVET. Now, to be hosting this very important event in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be a milestone for us here.
Johnson also spoke about the country's readiness to host this prestigious event, noting that extensive preparations are underway to ensure a seamless and successful meeting.
So what we have to do is to ensure that we put together a committee, the best from each department, bring these persons together and form a committee that will assist in the planning and execution of this event. We bring together persons from the media unit, media, MALA is part of that committee. We have the NQD, the three of us, and the SSDA, the chair, Mr. Dwight Lewis. We have Tourism Department. We have Ministry of Transport and Works. Now, these persons were handpicked because they have a very vital role to play in the development and execution of all of our plans.